friendly as Dash of Dave. He'll take some scraps and bits of this, turn them into something you can't miss. Junk journals, tapes, and crafts galore. He'll have you begging, show me more. Oh, Dash of Dave, oh, what a sight. Mixing colors, day and night.
Hello everyone, it's Dash of Dave here, and I'm back for another crafty video. So today we are going to do something a bit different. So normally I would have an idea of what I'm going to make. I would go in that direction and I would find elements to stick down on it. We're going to do it the other way around this time. I have had this for some time now, and it started to get a little bit destroyed because it keeps getting folded and it's getting a bit torn. And I thought, you know what, I need to make something with that, and I don't know what to make with it. So I rarely make big things for it to stick on. I do make those giant slides occasionally. So I thought we'd do it the other way around. So rather than making something and sticking this to it, let's start with this and make something around it so that it's big enough for it. So that's what we're going to do. Just something to do a little bit differently. I might have to cut out some of the landlocked areas. I might not cut them all, and if I do, I might not take you with me. I might speed up through it or whatever to cure the pain. Now, I do have some cards. So I have some craft card that is big enough. Now, it does have a pattern on it, and I've been thinking to myself, I'm never going to use this. When am I ever going to use shiny pineapples or these shiny squares? But they're just blank on the back, so I could just sandwich those together and nobody would ever know they were there. Or I have some of this which has got a pattern on it, so I could have one of these on one side and this on the other. So I think we might do something like that. So yeah, so I want to make something. I actually quite like that with the flowers in the background. I mean, like somebody could be brave and maybe colour it in, but I'm not brave. I'm not a great colourer-innerer. This mostly fits on here. I might just have to cut these top two leaves off. This has lost a bit of his. I think it's got torn off. There's a bit torn there, so I don't know what's missing from him. But I think now I don't know whether I'm going a bit radical here. I was thinking if I stuck it to here before I did anything else, I could cut these landlocked areas out of both of these and maybe put a window in it and make it so it's like a giant pocket. Is that, you see, this is the thing, when you don't have a plan, anything makes sense when you don't have a plan, doesn't it? Right, first of all, let's kind of just shape off some of these edges. So some of the bits where it is, and we'll cut this bit off so you can't tell that he's lost something. Just give it a wiggly woggly, wibbly wobbly, bibbly bobbly on there. That also needs to be kind of shaped because it's very straight, that edge. So we will cut maybe around that, make it look like that was a little leaf. We might cut back round there and across that bit. And again, use this piece that sticks up here and just cut it into a point so that it doesn't look like it's been chopped off. Like that. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that. Might keep that piece in and again just bring that to a point. There. Now we're going to cut it down. That's good because we can, if we bring it to a point, it's not going to get damaged. I'm cutting that piece off because we know that's too high for the piece of card that we have, but I will keep that piece in bring it to a point again, and then cut the other side of that. So this is kind of my plan. This is where we're going with this. I'm going to cut that bit off as well, and you can't ever tell it was there. Right, he's got a bit of a white line on his head. We'll cut that bit off. It's not usual for me to do things this way around. I normally have a plan, even if it doesn't look like I've got one. I normally start with a base of an idea. Now this time I do have a base of an idea. I know I wanted to use this, and I wanted to use it up, and so the reason why I've not used it is because A, I've not had anything big enough, and B, I wanted it to be the kind of star attraction, and I think if we start with this, it will be the star attraction, whereas if we finished with it, it wouldn't be. So let's just throw those on the floor. Not really what I should be doing. So should I be sticking it down and cutting the whole lot out, or I don't know whether if I stuck it down, what am I going to turn it into? I could turn it into a giant tag. I could cut a bit of this off and have like a giant pocket thing that I could turn it into, or I could have a semi-slide. I could keep it this shape, this orientation, and do like a giant slide like I've done before, but maybe have it so that it's not all a window, so maybe the window comes round but it has a cardboard piece. Okay, I don't know what to do. Right, I think what I'm going to first do is I'm going to stick it to one of these pieces, because obviously I don't want to stick the two pieces together, because if we're going to turn it into a slide, I will then use it as a... Yeah, let's do it as that. Let's make it a slide and make it as a pocket. Now we want to make sure that the slide is big enough for my piece of... Now I've got some of this. This is aged overhead projector paper, so it is a bit yellow. You can't really tell how yellow it is until it's on a piece of card. I think when you've got two pieces of this, it might stick out. So that would be great, because I could have a bigger bit at the bottom, like you should do with the slide, and a bit either side. So yeah, let's do that. I think that's what's going to happen. So let's stick it to this first of all. So the best thing to stick it to here with, well, the best thing would be the Xyron, but I'm worried about if I put it through the Xyron that these pieces are going to get mashed. Right, okay, let's not use the Xyron in this case. So stand down the Xyron in case you're all deploying the Xyron without me. Oh look, there's that. I thought that was ripped. Oh, it is ripped, but it's that. Okay, so let's just see if we can glue that bit together so it stays in the right place. There. Cool. So I think we will glue this down with glue. That way then we can get all these fine pieces. So if I put it through the Xyron, it's got a chance of it lifting up and bending or tearing off or whatever. When I was doing it this way, it's not going to. I just need to make sure I follow the edge, make sure he's stuck down completely. And then we will cut the landlocked area bits off, but with this second layer, and then we can always draw around those pieces, those holes that we've cut out, onto the second layer to cut them out. I'll show you what I mean. I'll use it like a I'll trace the holes is what I mean. Just want to get this all kind of stuck down. I want to get a decent amount of glue on, but not so it's all gooey and wet. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put that to the edge there. Might go a little bit lower down on the bottom edge because we've got that white overhang that I needed to have cut off. And then glue these bits down. His beak, make sure his beak's glued down. And his bottom, I think it's his, is it his tail? Oh, it's the bottom edge of his wing, I think, but I don't think you can really tell that that's missing. Okay, and then there's this piece here, which is the white bit that we can just cut off. Let's cut that off. Oh, maybe. Let's use a ruler to cut across the cut up to the edge with. Let's do the other edge. Yeah, here. Don't want to cut the craft card off. I just want to cut the overhang off, and that should have trimmed away. That did. It did. Right. Okay. So I would like to cut out some of these areas. So I'm going to start with some easy. Right, that is way too long, that blade. Let's don't put that in that way round, Dave. That's the smaller one. We'll use this. And I'm going to cut these out. Now, like I say, I might start with you guys and then fast forward through it so you don't have to watch me do it. And then reconvene when I've done it. So because it does take a little bit of cutting because it's cutting multiple layers. You see that piece isn't coming out, and that's because I need to cut those lines again so that they cut through. So I don't ever press down and try and cut through all of the layers in one go. I'd rather go over it several times and until it actually comes free itself. Feels like it's free. Oh, just that corner's not free. There we go. So I will do that and come back to you. Right, okay, so I've cut them all out. So next time I say to you, I think I'm going to do this, just say, don't do that, Dave. That's a terrible idea. Because that was harder than I thought. I almost nearly cut my finger off as well. But so one big tip is if you're cutting with a blade, don't cut towards your fingers. Make sure your fingers are out of the line of sight. So I did clip it together with some clip locks because it meant that it didn't keep moving around. I did try to draw around it, but I'll find it hard to draw over the foil. So I ended up just cutting out of the thing and using it like a stencil. So let's take the clip locks off for the time being. I'll put those back in my thing. This is very useful for just said situations. So I could do with actually having some more clip locks in there, and I do have some more, but I don't know where they are. Where are you? Get back in there. Okay. Well, I have some. I've got about a massive pile of a few boxes on them, but who knows where they are. They were over here. Oh well, I'll find them at some point and I'll put them back in. But yes, very useful little device. Anyway, so now I've got this and this. It kind of lines up. It might need a little bit of jiggery pokery to get it to line up. And it does have a little bit of a gold that you can see. But you know, that could add interest and intrigue. The next thing to do, I guess I could have left those clip locks on. In fact, I'll just put them back, maybe there and there, and then maybe one on this side. The reason I say I could do with maybe having them is I'm going to do the border thing. So, you know, I want to have it to look like a slide. Now, I know I've cut down into here, which is the bit where I would normally have the slide, the bottom of the slide, but I don't mind that. I think it might give me a bit of an interest to it. I'm not an owl, but clearly I am. Actually, that's too close down to the bottom. Take that one off. Right, so how big a thing do we want? Maybe we want, like, try and put it round the right way, Dave. Shall we go for maybe 4 inches at the bottom? Or do we want to go 3? No, 4. No, how about let's split the difference and go 3.5. Let's go 3.5. Okay, so I want to do a pencil line because I need to find the rest of the border out first before I commit to anything. So I'm not going to cut my bird out anyway. So I'm going to do here. I'm not going to cut this bit out because I know that that's within the locked area as well. So I shall just do from there to there. And then let's move these clip locks around. This is when I could actually do with more, but oh, I can see where they are. Excuse me while I reach into shot. There we go. Just a few. So some of these have been stained or alcohol inked to make them look old, whereas these ones haven't. These are just the colour they come when you can get them in all sorts of colours, but I like the silver ones best myself. Okay, cool. Put that one back in there. So I want to do this edge now. So let's clip this edge in. Take that one off. Put that one in the back. And then we can do this. So how big do we want the rest of the frame? Maybe 2 inches. Yeah, 2 inches looks about right. Let's do it that way around. Yeah, 2 inches I think. So we're going to go from that line to the top. We will put a clip back in there now. Take that one off. Put that in the back. And put 2 inches at the top. Oh, just drawn across the. I think they're drawn across the top of his head. I did. Never mind. That's fine. And then we will put a clip in there. Take that one off. And I'll do it here. Again, 2 inches down this side, but only to where the birds start. 2 inches to where the birds start. So I know that I need to cut out this area, this side of this bird, this area, then round this edge, and then the square. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to cut this without you guys. I'm going to cut this bit. I might save that for you guys, but I might just do it anyway. So I will be back, famous last words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I will be back. So back here in a few moments. So what I've done is I've cut around all of the lines here, the intricate lines. We will cut the other main lines together, and hopefully it should then just pop out. So we'll do the squared lines now. I quite like it to have a bit of a curved corner, so in order to do that, I think I will make things harder for myself, because why ever not make things harder for yourself, Dave? I'm just going to go around this tag. It's not going to be perfect, but it should be adequate. In fact, actually, I might just... So, you'll notice I got a glass mat. The reason I got my glass mat is you can much easier tell whether you've gone through the cardboard or not, because it stops making a fibrous cutting noise and it just slides on the mat. Whereas on this board, you can't tell. There's not much sound difference. Also, the contrast is much easier. So when I'm cutting a line, I can see a white background better than I can do a black background. So I'm just going to cut around this here, and hopefully that will give me a nice corner. So hopefully you'll be able to tell if I shut up. So you can tell when it stopped cutting fibres and it started just sliding on the mat. I'll do that again. So I'll stay quiet while I do it this time. So hopefully you could hear that sound change from cutting fibres, the dragging noise, to it just stops making a noise because it's just cutting, it's just a blade moving backwards and forwards on the glass mat. Okay, cool. So that corner's not particularly brilliant, but it'll do. So we're going to cut down to the bird. And then cut from the bird's head to the corner, or to the rounded part of the corner. And then we'll just join that curvature up. Okay, and we should be able to pop that bit out. It may be trapped on a little few areas, so the corners usually tend to be the bits that don't get cut properly and tend to hold the piece in. So yeah, that was the corner definitely holding that piece. And again, we need to make sure it goes through all of the layers. There we go, that's that bit. And the top bit's come off. We just need to keep cutting until we're free. There we go, that's fine. It might have a bit of floofy edges, but you know, it all adds to the interest. Okay, so again, I'm going to cut these edges from this grass to the corner. Yeah, you can definitely hear a sound difference, sound change from where you're cutting the actual fibres of the cardboard to it just being sliding across the mat. That corner to that corner. The only thing is with the glass mat is it does tend to blunt your blade a lot quicker, but I don't use it a lot, especially not for cutting. It's just in situations like this it's very useful. Okay, cool. So that bit's come out there, and whether it come now, we're just going to jiggle it to get it to come out of this bit. So like I say, corners tend to be the bits that don't cut very particularly well, because it's just about getting the intersection right without your blade going too far. Can we get one of the layers off? Yes, the top layer seems to be coming off better. Yep, that's fine. Bottom layer might just need bottom layers do tend to just need a bit more correction. So that's come free there. Is it free on that corner? Yes, it is. Is it free now? Can we make it free? Okay, cool, yeah. This is going to be the painful bit. Not free now. Yes, it is. Is it free on that bit? Yes, it is. It's not free on this bit. I don't think that bit got cut. Oh no, it did. Must have done because the other top layer came off. So at this side. So yeah, that's free now. That's free. That corner and that corner. Right. Okay. So there might be some little edges that we could do with trimming, but that's generally fine. Oh my gosh, I know I'm gonna love it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna replicate that same rounded. Let's just take these off for a minute. Just reshape that. Okay, so no, reshaping it is not the idea though, because you've cut it like that, so we need that like that. We're just going to have to cut the bottom edge of the gold off, I think. Let's put this back on. Put that in the right place and then put that back on. That's better, that's holding the birds in place. So this might need to just be jiggled a bit. Same with that edge. It's fine. Okay. Okay, so let's just cut. Well, I won't cut it. I will use pair of scissors to cut it. I will just shape that with my pencil, so we can cut them on a rounded bit on all the corners, including this one down here, and then we'll cut that with a pair of scissors, and then we'll get rid of the glass mat. I don't think my corner rounder would have done such a big corner, such a big round. I mean, like, you know, it may well have done. I don't know what's the biggest one. That's the biggest one. I wonder if that's the same shape. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's not. That's the biggest rounded corner I've got. So no, so. Better to cut it with my, well, not with my hands, but with my scissors. Just keep your hands out of the way, Dave. Cool. Okay, so let's get rid of the glass mat now. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to work out how we're going to have the transparency in it. So transparency will fit that way. We might have to have a new bit there. So can we angle it so that it covers the whole of this bit, but kind of sits behind most of, in fact we might cut that actually. So if I cut that out there, so it sits, so the join sits behind the grass, and then you won't see there's a join in it. So yes, I will do it like that. So I will have that to there, so we'll try and mark the transparency, but not always the easiest thing to mark because it doesn't take things very well. It doesn't take it very well. If you tell it how much it needs to be marked, it doesn't take it very well. It gets very upset about it all. Anyway, shut up, Dave. You think you're funny, but you're not. We'll pop that there. And then, if we have that like that, we will then, I've just noticed a bit I didn't cut out there of the bird. Right, I'm just going to cut this out as well, because this is overhanging, and you can see a lot of gold on its back. I guess this is why most people don't do it this way round, because it's not easy. But you know, why do easy when you can do difficult? No, why do easy? Easy all the time is boring, isn't it? Let's do something different, and that's what we're doing. So just let's get rid of that bit there. I've got a thing for wanting to put the blade on my finger today. I don't know what's going on with me. There we go. That's cool. That's come out quite easily. So, like I say, let's get that piece that will sit there. Well, we need two pieces, don't we? We need a front and back. We'll cut another piece to the same size. And hopefully, we might be able to use the offcut as the piece that we join. Oh, we will be able to. Excellent. So we want this piece to, right, I'm just going to use pressure to be the thing that we or can I use something else? Pressure isn't working for me. Is this going to work on transparency film? Might do. So if we come in from here, round the middle of this stalk and down to there, and we cut both layers like that. Yep. Then when they stick in there and stick to that, we can then layer the other piece of transparency, so the offcut transparency, in a way that, in fact, if we cut to the end, where's the other piece of this? Problem with it being a transparency is it's transparent. Right. Where's the other piece? I could do with the other piece cut off. There must be another piece. I had two pieces. Cut one piece off. And then that's there. It's there, it's transparent, it's just hiding. So look at those. Take that piece there and cut that end to be that shape. Then they should just connect nicely. No, that's not a process attack. Let's use these. And they should kind of butt up into that section there. Might be that way around, actually. It is. That's the way around, and that should then just join those two pieces. Right, okay. Let's get these stuck down. So that is going to sit, so it sits across that bit there. Yeah, it's like that. Perfect, yes, perfect. Right, okay. Let's glue this down. What should we use? Maybe a bit of, do with that with a finer tip. So where's my other bottle of that? Right, I'm going to have a quick drink. Right, put the lid back on that, Dave. So, let's go. Right, we want it to completely stuck onto the birds, so let's put some of this on the birds. And the intricacies. Just shaping it all around the bits that I know need to be stuck. Down to that bit where it's going to join, which is there. And then all the way around the edge of here. And just as long as it covers the edge of the slide bit. It might not go all the way up to the transparency, but the edge of the transparency, but we're not so worried about that. We want it to stick up to the edge. Okay, so first piece this way round. We want that bit that sits over there, that sits over that, stick that down. Don't press it too much, Dave, because you don't want it to all squirt out into the slide. I mean, like, the good thing is it does rub off, so okay, cool. And let's see if we can get this to marry up. It's not that way around, it must be that way around. I stick that in that. Oh no, that's not going to go there. Well, if it goes that way, this way, no, we need to change the shape of this end. So this needs to sit this way. Where's the piece that we cut off? That's one of them anyway. Right, that sits in there and goes back into there. Okay, it goes like that. So let's just straight the end of that. Let's stick a blob of that to there. And then stick that on there. No, that way. To pick that up. And then cut round that. And then I'll put the two together actually. There's the other piece, that one. I'll do it from the straight end. It's absolutely covered in bits now, so. It's going to go in there like that. Oh, that is perfect. Right, okay. How long do we need it? Let's cut them both off to the same length because we know how long they both are. What? I don't know. Oh no, that was the wrong way round. That's fine. Wrong end. That's the right end. That and that I need to cut to about there. Please be the right length now. Oh, you are indeed. Oh, good. Right, okay, cool. Okay, so then we'll just get this to come out. Line of glue there, right around the edge, through the grassy bits, and then stick that down. That's going to go on like that. Fab. Okay, so that's that side with my transparency on. And then this one, let's leave that to dry for a minute. This one can go here. Again, that's going to go across there. Right, there we go. That's those sides, those two sides. So I had a moment there where I thought, have I just glued that to the wrong side? You know what? I've glued it to the wrong side. I've glued that to the wrong side. Oh, heck. Oh, well. What we've got is, we've got something you can never look at the back of. Oh, well. What an idiot. Okay, so how are we going to resolve this? I need to find a resolve for it. What we're going to do. So we could have a double pocket. We could just have it so that... I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But you know, I didn't have a plan for this. So, do we have then that on the back? And we have a double pocket. So we have a pocket here and a pocket here. So we could have a... I think that's what we're going to do. Oh, what a diplodocus. Or do we just go, you know what, we'll abandon all hope, throw that out the way, put that on here, I'll be very honest with you, I don't know, and I'm a bit cross with myself. I definitely don't want that silver on the back. Do I just cut that entire outline out? Okay, so I fixed it. I added another piece of card and I cut all of the bits out again. Whether I've left that video in, that footage in or not, I don't know. But that's what I've done. I have repaired it. I felt I owed it to you to try and do something with it. So I have. It's not as perfect as it was, or it could have been, indeed, but I'm happy. So, what we're going to do is we're going to rub out these extra lines, and we will decorate the front, but we won't worry about the back, because I think it might make it into a Finish It Friday, where we can worry about doing the back, because I have been thinking, well, what do I do with the bird shapes on the back of it now? Because I don't have a mirror image of this to be able to stick on there. I just want to take the pencil lines off all the edges here. So I think what we will do is we will glue it together, like around the bottom two edges, three edges even. We will have a thumb notch in the top. Do I want a thumb notch? I think I'm going to want a double thumb notch, so like double the thickness. Whether it'll go through or not is another matter, because I've now got 3 thicknesses of card, because I've got the original. I've got the original here, and then I don't know if you can see I've glued it to another piece of card here. So whether it goes through or not is another matter. But I think I'll try and use one of these ones, because these have got a bit more oomph to them. Right, we've got, this is a 12-inch piece of card, isn't it? Yep. So that's the middle there. So we want that somewhere about there. Right, okay, let's just make sure that is in the middle, and let's just make sure this is all lined up. practice. And then we will do that lined up. The birds lined up. They are. Or you might be able to tell here. There's one piece of area which I didn't cut. So there is a landlocked area there that I didn't cut. But you know, at the end of the day, I am not unhappy about it. We could just maybe stick. Oh no, you can't really see it anyway, so it's only one piece, Dave. Don't get too upset about it. I did lose the plot a little bit. I will just say, but I thought, like I say, I thought I owed it to you to make it good. So I have, and you know, we all make mistakes, and some people think I am brave leaving my mistakes in. Don't know what snapped, whether it was that, or my hand, or my bones in my body, or my brain. Some people think I'm brave leaving my mistakes in. Others think I'm foolish. But I'm just me, and I just think if I can make mistakes, you can make mistakes. It just frees us all up to be happy with not being perfect. Because I know a lot of craft videos. I mean, like, you know, it's not for the fact that I can't edit, because I do. As you are very well aware, I do edit because I fast forward through things, I cut things out, I add music to my videos and all sorts of things. It's not because I can't, it's because I don't think I should. Sometimes if you're going to make a mistake, make a mistake, make it public, and make other people feel a little less pressure to be perfect. Because at the end of the day, when nobody is perfect, your craft is not perfect, and those people who think that all of these crafters craft first time and it's right every time, it's not. They just usually cut their mistakes out. And that's possibly something, you know, some people would like me to do, but I am me, I leave them in. So what I'm going to do is, because we've now got quite a few layers of card, you see what I mean, like the back, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. So I think I will, let's just try and reshape that so you can't see as much gold. I think what I'm going to do is I will edge this with a bit of this just to bind the edges together, because I don't know how well that glue is going to hold. I might as well do it with my horribly sticky, these scissors are very sticky now. Might as well do it with these. And now it gives me a, you know, I'm covering over this to some extent, but I think maybe I could utilise that, and maybe I'd give it a torn edge. Maybe not. It's not easy to tear the pre-glued stuff. I don't know where my roll of non-glued stuff is though, so I could do with the non-glued stuff actually, because I'm getting in a horrible mess of this. Right, I'm going to just have a look for that and then I'll come back. Right, so I found it. It was just down here, so I was just being a fool, I think. So I'm going to tear off the edge with a wonky line like that. Oh, sorry, I just hit my microphone, so I'm sorry if I deafened you. Get it sort of the right length. That, and then I'll tear the edge off as well, so it's got a nice bit more interesting edge to it. We also don't need it this wide, so except for it's not going to play, is it? Why would it do that? Why would it be interested in playing the game? Of course, I must have not saluted a magpie because it's not going right. Not going right today. I don't. Is that a thing in the rest of the world? I think you should salute a solitary magpie because you know it brings you bad luck if you don't. There's clearly something going on here today. I'm just sorry. I've just snapped. Like I need to tidy some of this up because it's driving me mad. So it's going to sit like that. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll do this on this edge as well. I might even just, you know, cover all of this in this colour and darken it down a bit, but I will just do the edge for now. One thing's for sure, I am not going to get my other video film today. Well, certainly not, and certainly not to be able to film it and also be able to eat, which I haven't done yet today. So, and I need to be good these days and eat regularly, because otherwise Vic will tell me off. So, yes, that's good. Right, okay, just gonna ink that corner. In fact, I might just ink the edges as well. Yeah, I fancy a person standing this side, or a big flower. Oh, I could have a big flower. Might have a big flower actually in the arsenal of things, and then we could have a word maybe across the bottom. So maybe a word. Sorry, it may be a flower. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got a bird. Oh no, we don't. No. I've had enough trouble with birds, thanks. I've got this here. No, it's the wrong. It's really that way up. I guess that could go on the. No, maybe not. Let's get this into shot and see what we can do. See if we have a. I don't want anything that kind of encroaches on the window too much, because I certainly don't want to be going down that route again. No, thank you very much. Oh, no, I don't think it's the right colourway. What have we got here? They were, you know, they would look good if they were facing the other way. I'd like them to be facing towards the birds, but they're not, so we won't use that. What have we got here? What is that? Again, it's that same colour of the, a bit like the foxgloves were. Are they foxgloves? They are. What are they called? What's her name? Oh, that's quite nice. It kind of picks up on the red. I know it's not the same colour red. Not really what I wanted, but it's a possibility. What's her name? Edith Holden. Yeah, so it's a bit like an Edith Holden. That's quite nice as well. Maybe. What else have we got in here? That's a long thing. Oh, that's a lily. Oh, sorry, just bits are falling all over the place now. Again, no, kind of it eats into the thing, and I don't want to be having to then worry about that being on the back. Maybe if we'd thought about it in the first instance, but we didn't, and this is where we are now. Yeah, I think I might be putting myself under pressure to come up with an idea that when my brain is still kind of reeling from my annoyance at myself for getting it wrong. Well, getting that bit wrong. That's not too bad. That doesn't encroach too much on there. I think I might, if I'm going to do it, I might cut that bit off. I still quite fancy a person up here. Do I have a person? Right, let's have a look, see what we've got. I am very short of tall people. Unless we have them like that. Don't know. It's not doing it for me. Got some small people. Little people. Stop saying that, Dave. That's getting old now. It's all getting old. It got old before it was new. Maybe. I don't know. I'm still like... Still not sure. Or do we have him kind of there? I don't know. I like I say, it's not tall. I don't think it's tall enough. I really wanted like somebody quite tall up here, and so I don't know what to do now because I'd like to do something with the front. But oh, I beg your pardon, standing astride that is not a good look for you, mister. I don't know. Am I taking away from it if they are? Right, let me just. What I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Really, is it detracting from the whole thing if I also have something tall on this side? That's the only worry I have about going the tall route. Oh. I think that's it. I think that's what I'm thinking in my mind's eye. Yep, I'm going with that. Right, okay, just need to... Right, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to have to clean my scissors. Okay, so I have cleaned my scissors now. They are no longer the horrific mess that they were a few minutes ago. They were extremely sticky. Used some acetone. They're not perfect now, but they are much better than they were. So I'm going to stick this on here because that is like almost the perfect fit. Well, in fact, it is the perfect fit. So just want to get my scissors in a place where they won't go. So rather than, I don't want it quite just a jagged line. I want it to be a bit more wibbly wobbly, but like more of a softer, rounder line. That way, then I don't have to cut it out properly if I do a wibbly wobbly. Yes, there we go. Right, that's what I want. So on these bits here, I am going to just darken these bits down. They don't stand out so much. I think that looks better. I don't know why I didn't cut those bits out. I think, you know, if I had, it might have been a bit much. And I think I'm going to go over this with some colour as well. I think when it's just bright white, I think it's just too much. It's too much of a contrast. But you know, each to their own. Somebody out there might be saying, just leave it the word colour it was. But you know, I have rejected all of the Edith Holden ones because of the colour they were. But then I go and pick this and then colour it. Who knew? Well, you knew. You knew that would happen, didn't you? So, we're going to go with... How did that go in this corner and look good? Because it was the other way. it? No, I don't know. Anyway, what's that? Oh, that might be good. Yep, okay. Right, so we're going to glue this down anyway. Do we want to glue this down, or do we want to have a person in it? So do we want to have it like him? I know that means I'd have to cut the bride off, but the bride, you know, is probably better off without him, to be fair. I think I might cut the bride off. Like I say, she's probably better off without him. Looks like a bounder and a cad to me. So something going on with his legs. Legs are way too short. They just don't look right, do they? I think they couldn't see where his shoes went, and they just made a shape that made it look like he'd got legs, and so because they don't look right. So, anyway, what was I going to do? I was going to do it like that. Yeah, so I will ink around the edge, the bits that you're going to see anyway. You're not going to see his legs because I've decided I don't like them. So if we, oh no, which way around was it? That way. So we have that over there. Right, we're going to have him. How are we going to have it? How did I have it? Like that, didn't I? Yeah, so we'll put some glue on the back of his head. So he sticks to that. Stick some glue on the front of there, and then down his legs to glue him to the rest of it. That way then it kind of covers up the bit where she was holding on to him. I mean, like, I will have to glue her to something where you can't see her arm, but that's alright. Oh, cool. Yes, that is marvellous. That is just the way I wanted it. Just the way you are. Do 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 do. Don't go changing, trying to please me. You never let me down before. Oh, yes. Don't you just love it when it comes together? Well, I'd love to say, don't you just love it when it all goes right, but it clearly hasn't, has it, today? So it hasn't all gone right, but what has is marvellous. So, okay, we've got a bit of an overhang here now, so in fact I'll just try and cut that bit off as well. And then cut that rounded corner. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Should we have that on there? Let's just do that. It did look quite good on that corner. And then we will have I could do with a big word, like a big statement. Where was that going? Like that? Yeah. Sorry, I just sneezed. So I had to make sure that was cut out, because otherwise somebody would have been deafened. So, because I do sneeze very loudly. Yes, okay, so I feel like it needs a big statement there or here. So let's put those back in there so we don't lose them. We won't put her in there because she's not a flower. She's beautiful, but she's not a flower. She's not a little flower. I'll pop those in there and put that back up there. And then we need a word, so let's have a look in the words. I don't think we're going to have what I want. I wanted something really big. Like, I don't mean like long, like that. What I mean is big. So it's going to be something that's going to come from a magazine, and I think you know, we can have that like that, but I also think it needs something across the top. And I don't want to just stick a word on it if it's not going to be the right thing. So I've got lost and found. No, it doesn't do it. Might have to be maybe one of my own words when I'm in that situation where I'm launching. Although I could do collection. That does look good there. Then maybe we do go with today is full of possibilities. And we leave it like that. And obviously we need to make a tag that goes inside, and we can always add more when we're doing that. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to separate the border. I'm not going to make it completely thin like I normally would do. I'm just going to make it just less chunky. And we'll glue this on. The beauty of having your own collection of words is you can always print them different sizes. So when you have got my digital words, you'll be able to print them different sizes. So that's the other good thing about not having them all pre-die cut for you. You can go big or go home. Okay, that on there like that. Cool. Okay, right. Sorry, lady, I don't have any way for you at the minute. I'll put you back with the people at some point, but not now. Okay, there we go. So that is today. I'm going to leave it here, I think. I might just ink around the edge as I kind of talk and close off. Like I say, didn't all go to plan. It's not necessarily the way I anticipated it to go when I started, but at the end of the day, not everything goes right every time, and you just have to roll with the punches, because all it does is it just interferes with your day. I mean, I could have just given up and actually just started again, and I have in previous times not bothered with a video because it didn't go right and I felt stupid. I went through a period of feeling a little bit stupid today, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's part of being a crafter. We don't get it right every time, and sometimes the only way out is through. So sometimes we just have to go with it, roll with the punches, see where it takes us, and often we find beauty in the things that didn't go right, and not just the things that did. I'm just going to pop that in there just so I can get a bit of an edge on that as well, just so I don't get it all over the acetate, because I didn't do that before. It is a little bit wet. It's wet with acetone from when I cleaned my brush. So my scissors. Today will mean quite a bit of editing for me, but you know, it is what it is. But I have to say, I do like the way it has turned out. It's not, like I say, not where I was planning to go with it, but I love it. I wasn't expecting to make another slide. It just seems to be that giant slides are obviously my thing. And so obviously we've still got a pocket in here. Let's just see if I can show you. This is obviously not what we're going to use. We'll have to make a tag for it. But obviously when you put that in there, you've got it's a tag that sits inside, and you can see the whole thing. So we're going to have to make a giant tag to go in there, or a giant. It doesn't have to be a tag, does it? It could be just like a journal card. But yeah, now we need to make a giant portfolio for it to go in. Although I am thinking about making a big like book. You know, like I did the Halloween thing last year, and it was like a fake book. I'd like to make one of those. Is that called a tome? When it's a really giant book, but I'd like it to make a book. So anyway, there we go. That's it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think I was a brave soldier to push on through even though it all went a bit wrong, give me a thumbs up. If you think I should have cut like my mistakes out and not showed them to you, then give me a thumbs up. And basically just give me a thumbs up. Alright then folks, thank you very much for watching. My name is Dash of Dave and I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I will see you in the next video. Take care folks, lots of love. I'm going to go and have something to eat now because my stomach's rumbling. So take care folks, lots of love, mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.